Okay, so over the past couple of weeks, I've gotten a couple of emails asking me for a little bit more clarification on really what's the differences between the Black-Hearted Woman pedal and the Peacock pedal. And so I thought I would take a moment just to do a little video, sort of hopefully shed some light on that, and then maybe explain a little bit how I personally kind of like to use them. Now, first off, with the Black-Hearted Woman pedal, you can hear the differences right away in this video. I started playing the riff from My Sharona, and then immediately when Born to Be Wild from the late 60s, early 70s, or I don't know when those songs came out, but the Black-Hearted Woman pedal allows you to get that cranked, overdriven, natural breakup type tone that made songs from that era so popular. And it allows you to do it at any volume level. And it's perfect for that full-bodied Marshall and Fender tone type combined. And then when I jump over here to the Peacock pedal, for me, first of all, if you hear the natural mid-range difference, the Peacock pedal focuses more on mid-range, whereas the Black-Hearted Woman focuses more on not so much mid-range. So with the Peacock, you heard the Poison riff and then the Def Leppard riff. I'm a huge fan of 80s, hair metal type music, but I'm not so much of a huge fan of how they achieved those tones. They were processed. They had a lot of compression, a lot of choruses and things of that nature. I'm more of a plug-in, one pedal, one amp, turn it up and go kind of a guy. And so for me, having the Peacock, having that mid-range tone, I can sort of achieve those tones without having to add any of the chorus or the compression to it. Now, can you add those effects and get something out of them? Yeah, absolutely. It really does add a subtle sweetness when you start adding compression to them and adding little chorus effects and everything like that. That's just personally not how I like to use them. If I had it my way, I would kind of do it Slash style. I would have a JCM 800 half stack sitting right here with me. Wife wouldn't appreciate it, neighbors wouldn't appreciate it, the band wouldn't appreciate it, and so I'm stuck with what I have to do to make it work. I'm playing through the Fender Deluxe Reverb Tone Master Series amp. I've got it set on 20 watts because I still need that full body clean tone. And then I also need to be able to switch back and forth between that full body Marshall tone and that mid-range type tone. And that's kind of what the guys at Missing Link Audio have done, is they sort of created these two pedals that they give you the best of both worlds to be able to create your tones to achieve these tones with. You can take a Fender amp, a Marshall amp, a Vox amp, it doesn't matter, and you can EQ them with these pedals and achieve those tones from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even into the 90s. I'll play a couple of riffs to demonstrate a little bit about the range of the pedal, especially with the Black-Hearted Woman pedal. It's made with them germanium transistors. I don't personally know a whole lot about the science behind all of that stuff, but from what I've been told, that's what gives it that natural breakup and what really makes it sound like a push to amp. And I've only got the drive at this point halfway up. I'll turn it up in a minute and I'll show you how much of the heavy distortion type sound you can really get out of it. Now, that's not my cup of tea, but it can achieve those tones if that's what you're looking for. So we do a lot of the 70s classic rock stuff, everything from Van Halen, AC/DC, Deep Purple, and this pedal is sort of one of those set it and forget it kind of pedals when it comes to achieving the different tones of those artists. By just using the volume and the tone knob on the guitar, it can definitely achieve a lot of those tones from that era. I'm more of a volume on 10 kind of a player, but I do see the benefit on some of that stuff on turning the volume down. And so I'm going to turn the volume down to about 6 and play a little bit of Smoke on the Water, and you'll hear how it can definitely achieve that tone. But then I'm going to turn it back up, and I'm going to play a Van Halen riff and an AC/DC riff, and you'll see that with just the volume knob adjustment, how much extra drive you can get out of it and how nice it cleans up. So you can see how useful they can be for achieving a lot of those tones from the 60s and 70s eras. And if you're very much a volume player with your guitar, then you can pretty much control how clean or how dirty you like it to get. And it's going to be there. It's going to be a workhorse for you and take care of you no matter what you try to achieve. Now, jumping up a little bit. Now, I'm not much of a heavy distortion kind of a guy. I'm more of an overdrive kind of guy, but this thing will do some heavy distortion thanks to the germanium transistors inside of it, so you can really achieve some of the 90s stuff as well. And I'll play a couple little riffs from the 90s. I'm not much of a player from that era, so I don't know how accurate this is going to be, but somebody that is into that era can really unlock a lot of possibilities with this pedal just by using the drive knob. I've got it set here at 12 o'clock, but I'll turn it up to about 3 o'clock just to show you, how much of that heavy distortion it can really get. And keep in mind, this is coming through a 112 amp. This is not coming from a half stack or anything. So you see how much you can do just by moving that drive knob just a little bit, depending on what tone you're chasing, what sound you're after. You don't really have to change the EQs a whole lot, because as you turn the drive up, it responds like a natural amp and it opens up the rest of the EQs as well. Now, another good thing about it though is the clarity that it gives you when you're doing single lines and not just playing riffs or anything of that nature, because you can get all heavy with it, but at the same time it will clean up when you need it to, without even changing anything. So Well, it's not real hard to see why I like the Peacock pedal so much. That thing just screams. And it's perfect for all of those mid-range tones that I chase when it comes to playing that more of that 80s type tone. Or even some of the blues rock stuff that I like to do. I still kick that thing on and will use it, to do stuff like that. Now, you heard obviously that it's distinct difference between the Peacock. Mid-range. That's where it's at with this pedal, mid-range. Now, both of these pedals, I said it in another video, they pretty much look alike. I mean, except for a little design graphic, they look exactly alike. Tone, voice, drive, volume, little triode switches, and that's all great. But the internals is what makes them different. The voice control, this one definitely controls how much more of like an upper mid kind of range that you get out of it. Whereas the Black Heart and Woman's is more like of a lower type mid range that you can get out of it. You can't get them to sound alike at all. I mean, I've sat here and played around with all the different combinations, and you just can't do it. They are very two distinct pedals, and the Peacock having more of that upper mid range really suits me when it comes to the solo times and for times where I just kind of want to let loose. And again, for that 80s stuff, you can use it for that all day long. You can also use it for some of the more modern blues rock type stuff. So the possibilities are endless. Even though the company is selling them and promoting them heavily as the Allman Brothers, Dwayne Allman, Fillmore East Tone, yes, they can do all that, but it's all in the hands of your beholder. What you can do with them is up to you. It doesn't matter what the company has created them for. So if you have any more questions, if you have any suggestions that you'd like me to try, then feel free to reach out. Tell me what you want to hear, and I'll see what I can do about helping you out. And if it helps you decide to buy one, great. If it helps you decide that it's just not for you, well, great. That's what these videos are for, just to kind of show you some of the sonic possibilities of each pedals. Be sure to reach out to the guys at the email address listed below for any kind of ordering information. Be sure to ask them about their artist discount. It's a great little program to be in. It helps them, it helps you. And check them out on Instagram at MLA Pedals. And the website is www.mlapedals.com.